Hi, I'm Greg Moran, CEO and founder of Check.com. Reference checking is old-fashioned, inefficient, and a cultural relic of the hiring process. Those are just some of the words I think of when I think of reference checking. There is one more word, though: Seinfeld.
Did anybody call here asking for Vandelay Industries?
No, what happened to you?
All right, listen closely. I was at the unemployment office, and I told them I was very close to getting a job with Vandelay Industries, and I gave them your phone number. So now, when the phone rings, you have to answer, Vandelay Industries.
I'm Vandelay Industries?
Right.
What is that?
You're in latex.
Latex?
Right.
And what do I do with latex?
I don't know, you manufacture it.
Right here in this little apartment?
And what do I say about you?
You're considering hiring me for your latex salesman.
I'm going to hire you as my latex salesman?
Right.
I don't think so. Why would I do that?
Because I asked you to.
While a legendary TV clip, this is really the way that reference checking works. Limited information of no real value is what we've come to expect. But no more. Check.com delivers automated reference checks in the cloud, using assessment-based logic to deliver an easy-to-understand, streamlined, and competency-driven report to your company in 90+% less time, and with far greater accuracy than the old-fashioned reference check. Using our Seinfeld story, you notice that we're now at Vandelay Industries, and their hiring manager, Jay Peterman, is logging in and about to launch the reference check process for his latex salesman position. He creates a new position by clicking on a job family and then choosing an occupation. He gives it a job title and location, and he's done. Remember that I said Checked is a competency-driven system using assessment-based logic? The occupations that we saw on the dropdown each have an underlying benchmark of competencies and a scoring range that are required for success in any given role. We have over 1,000 best practice benchmarks in our system, and the ability to custom create for an organization as well. Now that Peterman created the position, he's going to invite some candidates. Apparently, George Costanza has some competition for this job from Jerry and Elaine. Peterman simply adds first name, last name, and email address, and reviews the editable email template. It's all he needs to do to launch the reference check process. No phone calls, no phone tag, no superficial conversations. The candidate will do the work from here. Now let's head over to George's apartment. He does a quick check of his Glamour magazine and then decides it's time to check his email. And what does he see? An email invite to start the reference checking process from Vandelay Industries. And George is pumped. And now he's going to start the reference check process. He's going to click the link in the invitation that he received from Vandelay Industries and set up a password so he can log in anytime to check the status of his references. He's also going to accept the terms and conditions that include a liability release for the reference providers and the company. This gives the reference providers peace of mind and confidence to give candid feedback. Checked was built to be highly configurable by our clients. It was designed to work around your desired workflow, not ours. One option that many of our clients use is the self-assessment. George is completing the self-assessment, which asks him the same structured, competency-based questions that the reference will answer. This, combined with the reference feedback, provides a great 360 view of his fit to the position and the company. He completes the self-assessment and is taken back to his candidate dashboard to see the next step, which is to add his references. Can you guess who George's first reference is? Of course, it's the other famous George, Steinbrenner. He's asked to add some basic contact info and to characterize the nature of their relationship: peer, supervisor, subordinate, and then some other pertinent information. He is also asked if this reference can verify his employment. This is another option within the system that can reduce the hassle of employment verification by adding it to the reference check process. Finally, George views the reference invite template that he can customize. Big departure here from the old-fashioned phone-based reference check. The candidate is driving this process and using a system-generated email template to request the reference. This helps us achieve an over 80% average completion rate among references. He can edit the template, hit submit, and see an on-screen verification that the reference was launched successfully. The candidate can now add any number of references this way. Now let's move uptown to the Bronx and Yankee Stadium. Mr. Steinbrenner decides to check his email and sees an email from George that contains the reference request. He clicks on the link and reaches the Checked.com system. He's asked to verify the information provided by George and a few other pieces of information. He can also make some open-ended comments about his working relationship with George, where he explains that he always came through with his calzone and worked so hard he often had to take a nap under his desk in the afternoon. He then answers the questions in the reference assessment. Again, these are competency-based questions using assessment-based logic. This ensures a highly accurate and candid report for the company in terms of the candidate's fit to the job and the culture. It also makes it incredibly simple for the reference provider, taking 2 to 3 minutes on average to complete. Mr. Steinbrenner completes the reference assessment questions and is now asked some optional custom questions created by the company. I mentioned before how configurable Checked.com is. The ability to create any custom questions is a feature many of our clients use to really tailor the information gathered by the references to their own preferences. These questions are at the discretion of the client, but we often see skills, experience, or other types of specific information being asked. Last, Mr. Steinbrenner answers a couple questions about whether he would rehire George. He then answers some simple employment verification questions around dates of employment, compensation, and rehire eligibility. When complete, he's delivered a totally customizable thank you page by the client. Most of you know well that references are often the best source of pipeline talent for your organization. Checked has several features that make sourcing from references fast and simple. As an example, this thank you page is often used to deliver a customized recruitment message to the reference. Now, let's head back over to Vandelay Industries, whose hiring manager, Jay Peterman, is searching for his latex salesman. He logs in and sees that 3 candidates have completed reference checks and are ready to view. He stack ranks them from highest potential to least, and shockingly, George is at the bottom. Remember, all 3 of these candidates have reached a point in the process after the interview where any of them could have been hired. He decides to look at the top-ranked candidate, Jerry Seinfeld, clicks on the score, and clicks to choose the report. In addition to the automated reference checking technology that we're discussing today, Check delivers other integrated screening tools, such as Checked Fit, a early-stage pre-employment assessment that is used by some of the world's top brands, such as Subway and Farmers Insurance. All of our tools rest on the same world-class assessment logic to provide a large measure of incremental predictability in your screening process when used together. Peterman clicks on the checked reference, and we see the final report about our top candidate, Jerry Seinfeld. We now see on this report the specific job competencies for the position of latex salesman. These competencies are what drove the questions asked of the references. We can see Jerry's overall score and also his score for each competency to give us a more granular view of his fit. Remember those optional custom questions that can be created by the client? We see the reference answers to those questions here. Notice the reference names? They're showing as anonymous right now. Confidentiality for the reference is an option that the company can control and increases the reference completion rates as well as the candor of the information provided. Next, we take a look at the rehire scores and comments. This is critical information wanted by every hiring manager. The executive summary takes the assessment logic and behavioral science used by the system and creates a simple, job-relevant narrative telling the hiring manager exactly what the candidate scores will mean to their performance on the job. We talked about employment verification before. Here's the output of that information. This can help verify the details provided by the candidate without having to complete an extra step in the screening process. For the really analytical user, the View All Traits tab shows how each reference rated the candidate on a competency-by-competency basis. If the self-assessment were enabled, it will also show how the candidate ranked themselves, as you see by the orange triangles. The system was built to be very simple to understand and highly actionable. The business impact questions are structured job-relevant follow-up questions that can be used for either references or candidates. The reference info and comments provide a background on the references themselves and any open-ended information they provided. In addition, our LinkedIn integration allows the user to view their profile and add them as a connection, again, making it easier than ever to source talent from the references, as well as automate and enhance the overall reference check. Last, the check quality indicator provides peace of mind based on several proprietary algorithms that the references are legitimate and completed the information honestly. If you want to download the report, the system automatically creates a PDF. You can also easily share a report by email with any other party. As you've seen, our reference reports provide employers critical job fit data across multiple dimensions. Our configurable analytics report provides insight into key metrics such as completion times, completion rates, ROI, talent pipeline effectiveness, and much more. Our sourcing tab allows you to easily search for any reference in the system based on just about any criteria, such as location, job title, and any other. By clicking on any of the search results, you can see a full profile of the reference. You can use the LinkedIn integration to view the candidate's LinkedIn profile and connect if you want. You can select as many of the references from the search as you want and download them into any applicant tracking system or contact management system that you may use to build and manage your talent pipeline. That's the Check.com system. We make reference checks relevant again by making them automated and making them count, so you can avoid situations like this.
Vandalay Industries. Kel Varnson speaking. May we help you?
Yellow. What Delay Industries?
No! Vandalay! Say Vandalay!
Now you're way off. Well, yeah, that's the right number, but this isn't an apartment. What?
Vandalay! Say Vandalay Industries!
Yeah, no problem. How did you know who they wanted?
And you want to be my latex salesman.
Thanks again for considering Check.com to help make your company's reference checking relevant again. Take time to look around the site, and we look forward to talking to you soon.